Imagine someone sits across from you, absolutely convinced they've figured you out. Their gaze is steady, their posture relaxed, and they act as if they already hold the winning hand. In that moment, you have a subtle but potent power. You can nurture that certainty, let it swell until it clouds their judgment, and then strike when their guard is down. The idea of feeding your enemy's delusions may sound like the stuff of cloak and dagger thrillers, yet it unfolds in boardrooms, courtrooms, sports arenas, dinner tables, and even playgrounds every day. You don't need a spy's training, just simple observation, gentle confirmation, and a dash of strategic restraint. Picture a local bakery competition. Two bakers, neighbors for years, both claim supremacy in their town. One day, the younger baker decides to let her rival believe he easily outbakes her. She posts pictures of a few misshapen cookies on social media, chalks up the odd burnt loaf to a bad day, and jokingly thanks her neighbor for always inspiring her, implying he's the true master. The rival smiles, glows with pride, and steps up his own marketing. Banners proclaiming, "The town's best baker." Meanwhile, she perfects her chocolate ganache in secret. On contest day, she unveils a show-stopping assortment, while her rival, overconfident, sticks to his tried-and-true sugar cookies. The judges swoon at her innovation. He is left stunned. By feeding his self-assured narrative, she shifted focus away from her own progress until the decisive moment. In corporate negotiations, similar scenes play out quietly. Imagine you're seeking a merger with a larger company. The CEO you meet thinks your firm is struggling, too small to matter. You don't argue. You refer to your modest team, mention your limited reach, and express relief that they agreed to see you at all. The CEO relaxes, assuming he has you on the ropes. Behind the scenes, your board has already approved a substantial influx of capital. When the CEO puts forward his final offer, terms skewed heavily in his favor, you politely request more time to consider. You loop in your investors, deploy new resources, and return to the table with unexpected leverage. The CEO, confident he's already won, now finds himself negotiating on your terms. Political campaigns thrive on this tactic. A junior candidate lets the front-runner bask in headlines about an unstoppable lead, stepping back from media appearances while the opponent grows complacent. Local volunteers troop out to proclaim the victor's inevitability. The front-runner's team cuts back on field operations in key districts. Then the junior candidate quietly focuses on grassroots events, speaking at community centers, door to door. On election day, turnout spikes where the favored candidate's presence waned. The junior candidate's name climbs in the polls just enough to flip the results. Voters who thought their choice was already safe show up in unexpected numbers, tipping the balance. The complacent campaign learns too late that a sure thing is anything but. Even in daily interpersonal conflict, feeding delusions can give you an edge. Suppose your coworker is convinced they'll lead the next big project. They already claim inside knowledge of client preferences and chat openly about their upcoming responsibilities. You never contradict them. Instead, you remark, "You must have spent a lot of time preparing." You ask them to share what they know. They happily outline a plan, revealing assumptions and blind spots. You listen, take mental notes, then quietly refine your own proposal around the gaps they've exposed. When the decision is made, you present a more robust plan. The boss, grateful for the thoroughness, chooses you. Your coworker, shocked, realizes their own certainty stopped them from seeing the flaws you uncovered. On the playing field, feeding delusions is equally effective. In tennis, a player might pretend to favor one corner of the court. She repeatedly hits soft shots to her opponent's backhand, exaggerating her weak return. The opponent, lulled into thinking the third shot will always be to that backhand, shifts position early. At the crucial moment, the first player lashes a powerful forehand into the opposite corner. The opponent is caught off guard, their weight and balance compromised by belief in the false pattern. One well-placed shot later, the match momentum shifts. The loser wonders how the pattern changed so quickly, never realizing they were dancing to the tune the winner chose to play. Family dynamics can bend to this principle too. Consider a father trying to teach his teenager responsibility. The teen insists they'll remember to do the laundry, their belief so strong they boast about it to friends. Instead of nagging, the father smiles and says, "I trust you've got it covered." He accepts the clean, empty laundry basket. The teen, buoyed by praise, forgets entirely. Later that evening, the father reminds them gently, "Looks like you forgot." That single moment of confidence, nurtured by the father's approval, sets up a learning opportunity that feels like the teen's own discovery. They learn balance between confidence and follow through far more effectively than a scolding ever could. In the world of startups, founders often sell their vision hard to investors. One ambitious founder lets a rival incubator think her idea is too niche, too underfunded. She shares tiny beta figures, admits her team is just 2 coders and a designer, and questions if the market size is large enough. The rival incubator, hearing this half-truth, deprioritizes the pitch. Meanwhile, she quietly secures customer letters of intent, finalizes partnerships, and lines up product demos. By the time the incubator circles back, her valuation has soared. They either miss out or pay a premium to enter the space. Her initial downplaying of strengths, a deliberate feeding of a false weakness, created room to grow unnoticed. Even community leaders use such tactics on smaller scales. A neighborhood association president appears to dismiss a resident's suggestion as too ambitious, nodding sagely and pointing out budget limits. The resident, encouraged that their idea isn't feasible, moves on. Meanwhile, the president drafts a more refined proposal, lines up grants, and subtly reframes the project as an initiative we never expected but ought to embrace. When the neighborhood votes, it seems like a spontaneous collective decision. Yet the president guided the narrative by first presenting a barrier, letting others confirm it, and then quietly removing it. Mastering this approach means learning to observe without revealing your own hand. Start by listening. Notice the stories your opponent tells about you and the situation. Those stories reveal their mental map and give you coordinates to shape it. Mirror their words back, emphasizing their conclusions. Yes, that does sound like a small shop. Nod at their assumptions, even echo their exact phrases. Sprinkle in minor confirmations, a small misstep, an understated remark. They'll tuck these observations away as proof. Meanwhile, keep building your real strength out of sight. When the moment of decision arrives, timing is everything. If you push too early, they may harpoon your real plan. If you wait too long, they might uncover your preparations. It's like tending a campfire. Too close, and the flames scorch. Too far, and they die out. You want the fire just visible enough to comfort, not too bright to reveal what lies beyond. Then, when they're settled and distracted, you seize the opportunity. Some argue this strategy borders on deceit, but all conflict involves shaping perceptions. Advertisers frame product stories to highlight strengths, diplomats craft narratives to align allies, and artists guide viewers' emotions through subtle cues. Feeding delusions is simply another way to control the story, one where you let the other side write their own excuses before you rewrite the ending. It's not about lying to friends, it's about outthinking adversaries. You don't need elaborate schemes, just keen awareness and strategic generosity. Offer them pieces of a picture they already want to see. I'm impressed you've considered that. You're clearly ahead of me here. You must have all the answers. Then slip away to finish your work. When they celebrate too soon, they lower their defenses. And that is your moment to act. In the end, the greatest victories are won in the mind. People believe what they choose to believe, and they seldom test comforting stories too closely. When someone tells you, "I know exactly how this ends," smile and feed that belief. Let them bask in it. And when they let their guard down, step forward with clarity, strength, and the element of surprise. The win isn't just about strength. It's about shaping the field so you fight on your terms. Dominate your enemies not by breaking their will, but by feeding their delusions until they break themselves. Seek wisdom.